Hello there, Moon in Cancer, and welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching October's moon sign reading for 2022. And please remember to click on that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you know what your moon sign is so that you get the right reading. If you don't know, I've listed some web pages in the description box below. All right, Spirit. Tell me about Moon in Cancer for October of 2022, please. Okay, we had two that flew out, so that's what we're going to take. First one here is Full Moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. Okay, breath work. Breath work is really important. Taking that deep breath, that can be, right now, even I feel a little more relaxed. There are a lot of different breathing techniques out there. If you're willing to go online and do some research, you can watch videos. I'm sure there's YouTube videos on different kinds of breathing, different theories, different ideas of why they work the way they do. Pick one, work with it, try it. The tension that you're holding is going to start causing more than just the typical anxiety, apprehension, maybe depression. I feel like this is Spirit saying, breathe, because if you can't start taking care of some of this tension, I think it's going to start wreaking havoc on your physical body. You're going to start having more physical symptoms. The other card that flew out was Full Moon in Virgo. Take inspired action. So yes, breathe through the tension. Find out more about breathing exercises and take action to... This is actually really about taking action to take care of your health. There is something Spirit is... I feel like this is a warning of, if you can't take care of your stress levels, or if you can't take care of the situation, or if you don't do it in a somewhat timely manner, like I said, there's going to be consequences in the physical body. I think there's going to be more physical symptoms, which means possibly spending more time going to the doctor and they're not being able to find what's wrong, right? It's going to be one of those types of things that you're going to emergency room, or you're going to see doctors or specialists, and they're all coming up with, shrugging shoulders. I don't know what's wrong. And that's going to cause more frustration, which can cause more tension. So this is kind of a warning saying, okay, let's stop and breathe for a minute right now. Spirit wants you to slow down, take that breath. If you can, even do some meditation practices. You can do yoga. There's a lot of breathing that goes along with yoga. Either way, it's time to take care of yourself. It's time to nourish whatever is hungering, or which needs attention internally for you. Let's get some more cards. Spirit, tell me more about Moon in Cancer for October, please. What else should Moon in Cancer know, Spirit, for October? And we had a card fly out. Acceptance under the Waxing Crescent 2. Acceptance of yourself. Part of the tension that is happening, part of the stress and anxiety, there's something about yourself, about your situation, that you haven't been able to accept yet. The answer, though, Spirit is saying right here, is acceptance. Accepting a quality about yourself that you don't like, or accepting a situation the way it turned out, an outcome. Accepting someone else's opinion, which may not match yours, or you may not like what they think of you, that kind of thing. But accepting of something, some idea, something someone said, an opinion, an expression, or a belief about yourself. And I don't mean acceptance like if someone calls you a bad name to accept it. No. What I'm talking about is accepting that this person might not ever be your friend, or accepting that this person sees you the way they see you and you can't do anything about that. It doesn't matter how much you prove otherwise. This person might just have this opinion and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's accepting, okay, that's the way this is, and moving on. Next we have, under Waxing Gibeus 5, resilience. You have resilience, okay? You can accept whatever that needs to be accepted, and you will have resilience. You will be able to, this person's like carrying a huge burden and still going. You will be able to carry whatever this acceptance is. I feel like it's a responsibility. I think a responsibility is being put on you that you don't know how to deal with, that you don't want to deal with. And so accepting this type of burden is going to make you feel less able to do some of the things you want to do, make you less capable of getting the things done that you have on a schedule or something. You need to get certain things done in a certain amount of time, but by accepting some kind of responsibility for yourself messes with that. And I feel like this burden, well, it feels like somebody's trying to put it on you. It almost is like it's always been there. You've set it down and been able to do other things and ignore it, but it's always been there. It's maybe for a while you've been dragging it so it's not on your back. Well, and while you're dragging it, you don't have to see it necessarily. I hope that this makes sense, but on your back, you can't ignore it. So there's something that is yours, that is being put upon you, and it feels like it's being put upon you by someone else, but it really has been yours this whole time. And it's up to you how to deal with this big ball of mess. And it feels like you think that that's not fair, or that's not your mess, or that shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to take care of this, but this is your burden. This is your responsibility. And while it might not be fair, it's still yours, and you have choices. That might not be what you want to hear, but that's what I'm getting from Spirit. So let's look at your shadow aspect then for the month of October. What difficult part or aspect is going to show itself for October, Spirit, for Moon in Cancer? I have a feeling this is going to reveal what the responsibility is, but let's see. What you don't. What does Moon Cancer not want to see? Fated to suffer. You are not fated to suffer for all eternity. This is a heavy burden. You don't want it. You know what? The acceptance is... The acceptance has to do with understanding the choice to unravel this mess. There's peace. There are doves in this card in the acceptance. So there's some kind of peace by accepting your responsibility, even though it's an ugly mess. And it feels even heavier to have someone say this to you, because this sense of suffering is so pervasive. And while you do things to, like I said, it's like you take that thing off of your back and you set it down, but it's still chained to you, so you still drag it around. So you try to get along, or you try to get through life like everything's okay, like you're not carrying this burden. But there's something about in October that makes you look at things a little bit differently. It makes you see, because even though this is a big bundle of mess, there's like growth of new leaves. So something new and wonderful can come of this burden. Yes, there's like tentacles, right? And snakes or something all around it, all a big mess and a jumbled mess, and being bent over and carrying this heavy burden. But it's a burden of your own making, and which means the positive aspect to that is you can unmake it, or you can make it into something else. All right, let's move on. Let's get some more information. Spirit, tell me more about Moon in Cancer for October, please. What else is there to know for Moon in Cancer for October, Spirit? Eight of Cups, introspection. Eight of Cups is also about, it is introspection, but it's also about walking away from an emotional attachment. Now it's under the breathe through the tension here. Breathing brings life. Breathing is life. Air relaxes the muscles, relaxes the body. Probably makes it even easier to go within and start accessing and processing internal things that are happening. Introspection. This is key, this is vital. And I think through introspection, you can look at this ball of wax, this can of worms, right? And look at things a little differently, and maybe even come up with ways to start untangling that mess. I think there's something hidden inside there. There's something worth digging into, looking at, opening up. Because like I said, there is growth in here. There's green growth. So there is something in there to be found. It's just, it looks like a really difficult, you know, like a different, it's like a rock. How do you break open a rock? It's already starting to break open, but it looks like there's something inside. That's what I'm getting. And introspection will get you closer to understanding what's going on there. Next, we have Ace of Pentacles, growth. This is under the take inspired action. And I think that action is going within and looking at this big ball of stuff that you carry with you. But taking action to make changes. Like I said, this is something that is self-made, and choosing to look at it, work with it, and accepting that, you know, the acceptance card is next, accepting that this is your burden to bear, But you have choices, and you can make it something that's easier to bear, something that's more positive. And while we all have responsibilities, we all have that kind of thing, how you perceive it or how you look at it or how you choose to deal with it is up to you as well. Next, we have the Tower transformation. So with acceptance and with all these doves here and peace, something is very shocking, something that shakes your very foundation, either because of going within and, you know, introspection, making changes to this idea of suffering, just total suffering. There is something that will hit you like a light bulb moment. All of a sudden, there's understanding, which brings in acceptance. Somebody might say something that triggers something in you. You might read something. You might hear lyrics in a song. Somebody might, at your job, all of a sudden somebody might accuse you of something. Any of these, just something you completely unexpected can happen in October at some point. And it's under that acceptance card. So having to accept the consequences of that, I feel like, are going to be hard too. But it's all connected. It's all intermingled. Your perception of suffering and the heavy burden that it is makes the Tower moment that much more difficult. But if you are able to make changes to how you see your responsibilities, your burden, and that could be looking at all your responsibilities and dropping the ones that are no longer help, right? That's going to lighten your load. It could be something simple like that really makes a difference. It could also be that whatever you saw as, you know, when you were younger, you reevaluate whatever this burden is or this responsibility. And as an older adult, maybe now you have it's like, oh, and it just dawns on you all of a sudden, like, I don't have to look at it this way, or I don't have to carry this burden this way. And so like pieces of this kind of just fall off, because all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to see it this way. I don't have to feel this way, which in turn brings a lot of growth. And then finally, the Hanged Man, stillness. This card is also, yes, this card is about stillness, right? Going within, breathe through the tension, introspection. But this is also about perspective, looking at the world from this person's hanging upside down. So the world's going to look completely different. And I think that's going to help with resilience, right? And this burden. And looking at this burden, you have a different perspective, and you can carry this load much easier or efficiently. You can carry this load much more efficiently with these new ideas, and letting go of what doesn't work, making sure you breathe through the tension, and ultimately changing your thought patterns and beliefs about suffering. There's so much more than suffering. So much more to life. All right. Let's get one final card. Spirit, one last message, please, for Moon in Cancer for October. Well, too many flipped, so I'm not going to take those. One final piece of advice, please, Spirit. Okay, one jumped. That is the artwork, and it's a person here in meditative pose. They seem to be pretty peaceful, and it says, I seek balance and grounding. Balance and grounding will help with your perspective, right? Your new look on life. No longer thinking you're just fated to suffer. While I don't see October as being an easy month for you, Moon in Cancer, it feels like it's something that is needed, and just so much opportunity for growth and acceptance and realigning your perspective, or realigning your responsibilities, or how to carry it, or realigning your point of view on life, yourself, on others, on your life, on your past, on your future. You're not stuck in one way. All right, Moon in Cancer, I think that's all the messages that I have for you. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to check out your sun sign reading as well. And may the cosmos bless you with love and light. Namaste.